Welcome to my bold and beautiful Today's Show channel. I hope today fantastic for everyone. Please hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. Is Ridge's marriage to Taylor the only way to silence Brooke? The bold and the beautiful hint that Ridge Forrester may remarry Taylor Hayes if he decides it's the only way to shut down Brooke Logan. It is abundantly clear that a portion of Ridge still adores Brooke and will always do so, but he has maintained his unwavering devotion to Taylor. Nevertheless, Taylor's insecurities began to surface after Brooke wowed everyone with that epic showpiece. Ridge tried to convince Taylor that it was just a dress, but there's no denying that he felt a little of the magic Brooke mentioned. Even so, that doesn't mean Ridge is ready to abandon Taylor and jump back into a relationship with Brooke. Ridge will be a bit conflicted as the storyline moves along, but we know where it's ultimately going. According to B&B spoilers, Brooke will need Nick Marone's support when he returns in June and will need to rethink her future. It sounds like Ridge will hold firm in his commitment to Taylor, but how will he get Brooke to back off? Ridge must find a means by which he can persuade Taylor, Brooke, Eric Forrester, John McCook, and everyone else that the woman he wants is the one. Perhaps Ridge will even need to convince himself that he can truly put Brooke behind him. With all of this in mind, Ridge almost certainly proposes to Taylor by presenting her with an engagement ring. During Ridge and Brooke's livestream interview in the April 28th episode, there were some wedding hints. Brooke acted like new nuptials were a possibility based on her reaction to speculation about a much bigger event. Although Brooke is excited about the possibility of a fresh start with Ridge, her wonderful predictions should end in heartbreak, at least until Nick comes back to console her. Instead of remarrying Brooke, Ridge might propose to Taylor and decide to remarry her in the coming weeks. Would that be enough to prove Ridge's commitment and make Brooke move on with her life? The bold and the beautiful spoilers say Ridge may make some updates to his romantic plans soon, so stick with us for any Taylor engagement news that might be on the horizon. Katie's demand, Ridge's confrontation, Eric justifies. The bold and the beautiful are here. Fans can anticipate Katie Logan asking Daphne Rose for the truth in tomorrow's episode. Meanwhile, Ridge Forrester confronts Eric Forrester about the Showstopper scheme. Keep reading and let's talk about what is coming up in the next episode of the CBS soap opera. Confrontation with Ridge Forrester. Fans can anticipate Ridge confronting his father in tomorrow's episode regarding the fashion show stunt. While Brooke Logan showing up in the Showstopper did save the show, it's now giving her the wrong idea. For one thing, everyone at that show seemed to respect that Ridge was with Taylor Hayes. Heidi Montag and Spencer Pratt even commented on it. If Eric and Brooke were both single, their stunt would have been adorable. When one of them is in a committed relationship, they become less adorable. Find out what transpired on the most recent episode of B&B. Eric Forrester's justification. Ridge will confront his father about his intentions. Eric will insist that he is fighting destiny and that Bridge belongs together. However, that is not Eric's decision to make. For years, the soap characters all talked about respecting relationships. However, Eric and Brooke's actions are a sign of clear disrespect. Ridge will tell his father that he will always love Brooke, but is committed to Taylor. Whether they are right or wrong for each other isn't really the issue. Eric's interference is the issue. Read this, the latest B&B comings and goings. Katie Logan's demand. The bold and the beautiful spoilers for tomorrow reveal that Katie overheard Daphne talking to Zende Forrester Dominguez. Katie will confront the nose about what she heard. In fact, a preview clip shows a furious Katie calling out Daphne for only being at Forrester Creations to do Steffi Forrester Finnegan's dirty work. Fans know that Daphne has developed feelings for Carter Walton. However, Katie is right that Daphne only came to FC to do Steffi's dirty work. Daphne might try to explain that her feelings are genuine, but Katie will be worried about Carter's heart. The last thing Carter needs is to jump into another romance, especially if he's not even over Hope Logan yet. Read this. The bold and the beautiful Katie calls out Daphne on her real reason for coming to LA. Tuesday, April 29th, 2025. The other issue with Katie is that she could blab to Carter about what she overheard, that could have Carter questioning Daphne's true intentions. Are Donna and Katie forever doomed as Brooke's loyal doormats? The bold and the beautiful Logan sisters dynamic has fans talking. Are Donna and Katie forever destined to be Brooke's loyal doormats, or will they finally stand up for themselves? Recent events suggest the pattern continues. Donna and Katie forever trapped as Brooke's perfect doormats? Everyone is talking about the dynamic between the Logan sisters, and for good reason. At this point, are we even surprised anymore? Donna Logan and Katie Logan have once again proven they're the ultimate personal cheerleaders for big sis Brooke Logan, and fans absolutely over it. The fashion show fiasco exposes everything. Let me spill some steaming hot tea on what transpired on April 28th at Forrester Creations. Brooke was the showstopper at the fashion event orchestrated by her ex-husband Eric Forrester, and who was front and center singing her praises. Yes, you correctly identified her steadfast doormat sisters. Donna was caught talking about Brooke's amazing performance with Eric and Christine Blair, and Katie joined Zende and those influencers in singing their praises. I mean, come on. Do these women have any identity outside of being Brooke's personal hype squad? One fan on X didn't hold back, posting, "There's one obvious thing, Donna or Katie will always be Brooke's servants." And honestly, the evidence is piling up like unwashed laundry on a daily basis. A decades-long pattern of pathetic loyalty. This isn't just a recent phenomenon, folks. The Logan sisters have been playing second fiddle to Brooke since the beginning of time. Remember when Brooke literally had an affair with Katie's husband Bill Spencer? Every normal person would have put their buttocks down. But what did Katie, who was sweet and forgiving, do? Eventually welcomed her sister back with open arms. I've seen welcome mats with more backbone. Donna, meanwhile, can't seem to decide if she's Eric's wife or Brooke's personal intel gatherer. In January, she rushed to tell Brooke about Ridge and Taylor's rekindled relationship. Sister first, wife second, apparently. The fans are divided. Social media is absolutely exploding over this dynamic. While some fans are crying family loyalty, others are calling it like they see it, pure doormat syndrome. Eric, Katie, and Donna are excited that once Brooke makes her entrance it would satisfy Ridge. That's just wrong of them, knowing he's in a relationship with Taylor. Y'all ain't right, one ex-user fumed. And seriously, where's the lie? But hold up, not everyone agrees. Some fans are pushing back on the doormat narrative. As one supporter pointed out, how have the Logans been beaten up on? Donna is living the high life in Eric's mansion. Katie is still employed at FC. Fair point. But having fancy jobs doesn't mean they're not still walking all over themselves to please Queen Brooke. Do they have lives of their own? To be fair, there are occasional glimpses that Katie and Donna have pulses outside of Brooke's orbit. Katie appears to have something brewing with Carter Walton. Upcoming spoilers reveal she'll be fiercely protecting him from Daphne on April 30th. So maybe she's found something to care about besides her sister's love life? Baby steps. And Donna is technically married to Eric Forrester. But let's be real, even that relationship often feels like it exists primarily to keep Donna in position to spy for Brooke. I mean, who needs security cameras when you have a sister married to your ex? Are Taylor and Daphne different in any way? Here's where it gets interesting. Taylor Hayes and newcomer Daphne, according to some fans, are Steffi Forrester's doormats, suggesting that this pattern of sidekick syndrome is not unique to the Logans. Is this a fair comparison? Taylor does consistently back her daughter and has been a rock-solid supporter through Steffi's many crises and conflicts with Brooke. But there's a crucial difference. Taylor maintains her own identity as a psychiatrist and has storylines that don't revolve exclusively around her daughter. As for Daphne, the jury's still out on her role. We'll have to see if she develops independent storylines or becomes another character orbiting around someone else's drama. Will they ever break free? After decades on B&B, you'd think Donna and Katie would have developed stronger backbones. But here we are in 2025, watching the same pattern play out at yet another fashion show. The bigger question, do Katie and Donna want to break free? Or are they comfortable in their roles as Brooke's eternal cheerleaders? Maybe there's some twisted comfort in knowing exactly what your purpose is, even if that purpose is making someone else look good. Will they ever stand up to their domineering sister? Will they ever put their own happiness first? Soap fans, don't hold your breath. It's hard to break some patterns because they are so ingrained. But hey, this is daytime drama. Anything can happen, even if it probably won't. Ridge reaffirms his love for Taylor, leaving Brooke devastated. After Brooke's surprise runway appearance in her iconic Portofino gown, Ridge Forrester affirms his commitment to Taylor, pushing back against Eric's matchmaking attempts on the bold and the beautiful. Ridge gives Brooke's runway romance hopes a devastative blow. The fashion showstopper that couldn't stop true love. Just when we thought Brooke Logan's runway moment might rewrite destiny, Ridge Forrester is about to drop a bombshell that will leave the blonde beauty absolutely shattered. After that jaw-dropping fashion show where Brooke strutted down the catwalk in her iconic Portofino gown, it seemed like Ridge's dreamy gaze might signal a rekindling of their epic romance. Not so fast. Ridge chooses Taylor once and for all. Ridge is about to make it abundantly clear where his heart truly belongs, despite those longing gazes that had social media buzzing. In upcoming episodes, he'll be telling Brooke and anyone else who'll listen that he is 100% committed to Taylor Hayes and no runway reunion or designer dress is going to change his mind. I mean, can Taylor be blamed for being upset? The woman literally locked Brooke in a vault to prevent her fashion show appearance, which, let's be honest, is mild compared to some of the stunts these two have pulled over the decades in their battle for Ridge's affections. Steffi Forrester is firmly in her mother's corner, warning Taylor not to let Brooke win and encouraging her to fight for the family they've always dreamed of. Like mother, like daughter, neither one is backing down when it comes to protecting what's theirs. Eric's matchmaking backfires spectacularly. Eric's poor. Brooke is about to explode in his face as he tries to play Cupid for his son. While Ridge will acknowledge the PR success of the fashion show, he's going to push back hard against his father's meddling. But what about that moment when Ridge couldn't take his eyes off Brooke on the runway? I hear you asking. Well, apparently it wasn't enough to overcome whatever he's found with Taylor. Sometimes a look is just a look even in the soap world. What is heartbroken Brooke's next move? With Ridge making his position painfully clear, where does this leave Brooke? She might find solace in Nick Marone's arms, according to sources. In the Logan Forrester-Marone saga, could this be the beginning of yet another complicated chapter? The fallout from Ridge's decision is bound to send shockwaves through the entire Forrester family. Will Eric accept his son's choice? Can Brooke handle another rejection? And most importantly, will Taylor finally get her happily ever after with a man she's loved for decades? The bold and the beautiful. Ridge's potential remarriage to Taylor, a strategic move to silence Brooke? The bold and the beautiful has once again ignited a firestorm of speculation with the tantalizing possibility that Ridge Forrester may remarry Taylor Hayes not just out of love, but as a calculated maneuver to finally shut down Brooke Logan's relentless pursuit of him. This potential twist has sent shockwaves through the fandom, raising questions about Ridge's true motivations, Taylor's fragile confidence, and Brooke's inevitable heartbreak. Ridge's dilemma: love, loyalty, or strategy. For months, Ridge has been adamant about his commitment to Taylor, insisting that their reunion is more than just nostalgia, it's a genuine, lasting choice. However, Brooke's recent show-stopping appearance at the Forrester Creations fashion show in her iconic Portofino gown stirred something undeniable in him. The electricity between them was palpable, leaving Taylor shaken and fans wondering if Ridge's resolve was wavering. Yet, despite that fleeting moment of magic, Ridge has remained outwardly steadfast in his loyalty to Taylor. But is this truly about love, or is it about sending a message? Ridge knows Brooke better than anyone. She thrives on hope, and as long as she believes there's a chance, she won't back down. If he truly wants to end the decades-long cycle of back and forth, he may need to take drastic action. The nuclear option, a proposal to Taylor. The most effective way to silence Brooke and perhaps even convince himself would be to propose to Taylor. Brooke would be forced to confront reality if she made a public, undeniable commitment statement. The hints have already been dropped. During Ridge and Brooke's recent livestream interview, Brooke reacted with excitement when fans speculated about a potential wedding. But what if those wedding bells aren't for her? If Ridge were to propose to Taylor, It wouldn't just be a romantic gesture, it would be a strategic power play. It would send a clear message to Brooke, Eric, and everyone else that has done with the back and forth. Eric, who has been aggressively pushing for a bridge reunion, would have no choice but to accept his son's decision. Brooke, left reeling, would be forced to confront the painful truth that Ridge has truly moved on. Brooke's inevitable heartbreak and Nick's return. Of course, Brooke won't take this lying down. She's spent decades fighting for Ridge, and even a diamond ring on Taylor's finger might not be enough to extinguish her hope entirely. But spoilers suggest that she'll soon find comfort in the arms of Nick Marone, who is set to return in June. His reappearance couldn't be more perfectly timed. Brooke will need a shoulder to cry on, and Nick has always been a wild card in her love life. Meanwhile, Taylor's insecurities won't just vanish because of a proposal. She knows Ridge's history with Brooke, and no amount of reassurance can erase the fear that he might change his mind. Steffi, ever the fierce protector of her mother's happiness, will likely push Taylor to solidify her claim on Ridge before Brooke can regroup. Eric's meddling and Ridge's ultimatum. Ridge's frustration with Eric's interference is reaching a boiling point. By orchestrating Brooke's runway moment, Eric crossed a line, disrespecting Ridge's current relationship in the name of destiny. Ridge's upcoming confrontation with his father will be explosive. He'll likely demand that Eric back off, insisting that his loyalty lies with Taylor now, whether Eric approves or not. But will Eric listen? His obsession with reuniting Ridge and Brooke has blinded him to the damage he's causing. If Ridge does propose to Taylor, it may be as much about defying Eric as it is about securing his future with Taylor. Katie and Donna, Brooke's eternal cheerleaders. Amidst all this drama, the Logan sisters continue to play their roles as Brooke's unwavering supporters. Katie and Donna's blind loyalty has become a point of contention among fans. Are they truly happy for Brooke, or are they trapped in a cycle of enabling her delusions? Katie's recent focus on protecting Carter from Daphne suggests she might finally be branching out, but Donna remains firmly in Brooke's corner, feeding her information and reinforcing her belief that Ridge will eventually retain. If Ridge does marry Taylor, will the Logan sisters finally accept defeat? Or will they double down, scheming behind the scenes to undermine Taylor's happiness? The bigger issue, is Ridge really able to let Brooke go? The most compelling aspect of this storyline isn't just whether Ridge will propose, it's whether he can truly close the door on Brooke. Their connection has survived multiple marriages, betrayals, and even death, thanks to that infamous death in Aspen fakeout. A ring on Taylor's finger might be a temporary solution, but in the world of B&B, nothing is ever permanent. If Ridge does go through with remarrying Taylor, it could be the most dramatic move yet in this never-ending love triangle. But will it endure? Or will Brooke's inevitable heartbreak result in a significant reorientation of her loyalties? Ridge Forrester once again finds himself at the eye of the storm, a man torn between two women, both of whom have etched themselves into his life story in indelible ink. The latest developments hint at a monumental turning point, one that could shake the foundation of the Forrester family and the emotional core of the show. Ridge remarrying Taylor Hayes, not purely out of romantic devotion, but as a strategic decision to finally silence the ever-persistent Brooke Logan. This twist, both heartbreaking and dramatic, exposes the deeply layered dynamics between these central characters and promises to push long-standing tensions to explosive new heights. While Ridge has, on the surface, reaffirmed his commitment to Taylor time and again, the shadows of his love for Brooke loom large, and it's clear that despite his best efforts, the embers between them still glow. Taylor, ever the perceptive psychiatrist, has begun to sense the subtle but growing pull, especially after Brooke's shocking and glamorously defiant appearance in the Showstopper gown at the fashion show, a move that stunned the crowd, reignited old fantasies, and sent a jolt of unease down Taylor's spine. He saw more than just a fashion statement. He saw a symbol of his past, a reminder of destiny, a term Brooke has used for years in her campaign to reclaim his heart. Ridge tried to downplay it, claiming it was just a dress. However, his conflicted gaze betrayed him. Now, as the fashion world buzzes with the drama, and Forrester Creations staff tiptoe around the elephant in the room, Ridge is under pressure from all sides. Eric, his father and longtime bridge supporter, openly endorses Brooke's bold move and even justifies his complicity in the scheme. Eric's belief in destiny, in Brooke and Ridge's cosmic connection, borders on stubborn fanaticism, and when Ridge confronts him about his involvement in the Showstopper stunt, Eric refuses to back down, insisting that he was doing what needed to be done. But Ridge, tired of others writing his love story for him, knows that public perception matters now more than ever. If he wants peace at home and in the boardroom, if he wants Taylor to stop questioning his loyalties and Brooke to stop making late-night declarations and dreamlike proclamations about their future, he has to do something definitive. It's no longer about who he loves more. It's about ending the constant tug-of-war and drawing a line that no one, not even Brooke, can cross. And that line, perhaps, comes in the form of a wedding band. A second marriage to Taylor might be just the declaration the world, and Ridge himself, needs to finally move forward. Behind the scenes, Taylor's confidence is unraveling despite her attempts to project security. While she tells Steffi and Thomas that she trusts Ridge, the cracks are showing, especially after Brooke's theatrics have reignited old insecurities. The idea that Ridge could be quietly yearning for Brooke gnaws at her psyche, reminding her of every other time she stood in Brooke's shadow. And yet, she desperately wants to believe that this time is different, that Ridge choosing her meant forever, not just for now. But Taylor, for all her wisdom, also knows Ridge better than anyone else. When Brooke enters the room, she observes his moments of nostalgia as well as the hesitation in his eyes. She fears that history will repeat itself, and so she begins emotionally distancing herself to protect her heart from another inevitable heartbreak. Steffi, fiercely protective of her mother, picks up on this shift and wastes no time confronting Ridge, urging him to either recommit in a public and permanent way or walk away before more damage is done. Steffi's plea echoes the unspoken truth. Everyone is tired of the endless triangle. If Ridge truly wants Taylor, then it's time to show it, not with empty words or vague promises, but with a wedding ring and vows that leave no room for doubt. Brooke, meanwhile, is once again caught between reality and fantasy. Despite his declarations of love for Taylor, she continues to believe that Ridge belongs with her. Her feelings for Ridge have never wavered. She used the show-stopping stunt to reclaim her power and to remind Ridge and the others of what they had and what they could still be. The applause, the buzz, the spark in Ridge's eyes, it was everything she hoped for. But now, as Ridge begins pulling away again and word of an impending engagement with Taylor circulates, Brooke is left reeling. The live stream interview from April 28 hinted at this possibility when she became flustered at the mention of a wedding, perhaps assuming, wrongly, that the proposal would be for her. Now, as that dream seems to fade, Brooke is forced to confront the reality that Ridge may never be Hayes again. She begins to consider the idea of letting go and finding love elsewhere in a rare moment of vulnerability. The universe, or rather the writers, appear poised to respond to that call with Nick Marone's return. Nick, the former flame who once offered Brooke a life outside the Ridge-centric vortex, is set to return in June, and his arrival could serve as both comfort and catalyst. If Brooke can open her heart to Nick again, perhaps she can finally close the chapter on Bridge for good. However, Ridge, Taylor, and Brooke are just a few of the characters in this plot. It's about what love means in the face of legacy, obligation, and public scrutiny. Ridge's identity has long been entwined with both women, Taylor representing stability, emotional maturity, and family unity, while Brooke embodies passion, unpredictability, and destiny. His indecision isn't just romantic, it's existential. Can a man who has spent decades in a love triangle ever truly choose? Or is he doomed to orbit these two women forever, pulled back and forth by nostalgia, guilt, and fleeting sparks? Ridge's decision to remarry Taylor, then, isn't just about proving something to Brooke. It's about forcing himself to finally believe in his own choice. By putting a ring on Taylor's finger, he hopes to silence the inner voice that still whispers Brooke's name in quiet moments. But weddings on the bold and the beautiful are rarely about love alone. They are strategic, political,